see myself having interviews like this. I could see myself working with some high-profile people, with helping people, some vulnerable people. I love working with these types of people. I knew I was going to do it.
Yeah.
It was inevitable.
I love this practice. This is good.
It was just inevitable. And I was like, this is some of your artists, some of your people. It's a definite. There's no, oh, well, you know, we may make it. Because as soon as you've got that's your belief system.
Oh, man.
You've got to change that, and you've got to go for it, and you've got to be certain.
That's really key. So if you have had that mentality as a belief system, so we've looked at visualisation and things that you need to do. You need to feel it, in some ways taste it, smell it, get the surroundings so that it feels real, so that you can achieve it. But it's those inner belief systems, like, and what would you, could you explain what a belief system is first, like as in what your inner beliefs, and then we talk about how to kind of rectify when it's a bit negative and it's holding you back, if that makes sense.
Well, a belief system is really interesting because some people see belief systems as very different. It's not just one fits all.
Yeah.
Belief system, I mean, you can, for an artist, belief system, you know, I believe I cannot sing.
Yeah.
I believe I cannot be around these people.
Yeah.
I believe that things like this don't happen to me.
Does that come from a place of not feeling good enough or not worthy
Yes.
enough? And why do we have that? I know these are
does.
core questions.
They are.
This.
No, it does, and it's great that you ask these questions. It's one that go deep into psychology, deep into. I mean, I've worked with some really vulnerable people, and some people in not very great places.
Yeah.
In order to move them forward, including artists. People assume artists are great. Everything's great. No, it's not. No one sees them on dark days.
Yeah.
They see them perform. They see the glitz and they see the glamour, but they don't see the other days. And you know. Some of these people, what they've tried and tried and tried and tried and tried,
Yeah.
and tried and even tried,
Yeah.
and not made it, and then it's happened.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've found in with, again, it's a complete correlation with all the people I've worked with.
Yeah.
Just before they fell, it went through,
Yeah.
including myself. So
Yeah.
your belief systems, it's one of these that you get to that point, and it's like you kind of plateau, as it were. You kind of get to it, and you go, oh, and that's where the belief systems kick in.
Yeah. It's like
Big time.
shit hits the fan,
Yeah,
so to speak.
it really does hit the fan.
With
It's
the,
like, oh
fans.
no, that's it. Okay, that's it. I'm not good enough. I really can't do this.
Yeah.
They're your belief systems.
Yeah.
They're the ones that kick in. I call it a little voice. And
Yeah.
it's saying, you can't do this. Have you seen the Nutty Professor?
Yes.
Do you know Sherman and Buddy?
Yes.
Now when Sherman's there and he says, you can do it. Yes, I can.
Yeah.
That's Sherman and Buddy.
So I have to stop there because I can hear the background. Everybody's laughing. That's really funny. I love that.
And he said, Sherman, yes, I can.
Yeah, totally.
And you actually, well, to be fair, I should have been committed for that, but
You really should. Come on.
hearing voices in my head, but we all hear these voices.
Yeah, we all have
Every
the
single
negative
one
stuff.
of us. I started talking to mine now, saying yes, I could.
Yeah, totally.
And these are the beliefs, and they're quick to throw this little belief system in.
Yeah.
It's quick to say you can't do it.
And that's constant, isn't it? It's hard to ignore it. But when you can master it, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Because it's crux point at that point, isn't
Oh.
it? When it feels like everything's hit the fan and you really have been working hard and hard and hard, and those inner beliefs starts coming. I feel at that point you have two choices. You can either listen to them, or and they kind of pull you back, or you can counter them, and then suddenly there's breakthrough.
Yeah, and that's exactly right.
That's
you
how I see
counter
it.
them, and that's when that bit there, you're doing all right. The confidence is there. The confidence is there, and you kind of come down.
Yeah.
And it's like you start to plateau a little bit, and you're like, wow, okay. That's when Buddy loves here.
Yeah.
Buddy loves in your ear, and he's saying, you can't do it. Yes, I can. And that belief system there is challenged.
Yeah.
Everything's challenged. The way you are, the way you look, what you say, how you say it.
Yeah.
Am I ever going to do this? Will I ever succeed? Let's go back to delivering pizzas. And like that, there's nothing wrong with delivering pizzas.
But if it's not your plan A, then you're going to be
If
dissatisfied.
that's not your blueprint for life, then it's all over.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get to the end of it and you're going to say, well, I've actually done. I've not lived. And talking about blueprints, it's one of the major things that gets brought up in therapeutic and psychology and my coaching.
What do you mean by that then?
A blueprint
I
for
kinda
life.
know,
It's
but
an
yeah.
interesting
Yeah.
blueprint is. It's where, what do you actually want to do? People assume that if you're rich, you're happy.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. I've met some rich people who are far from happy.
Yeah.
I've met some poor people who are very happy. Now, some poor people maybe not be living their blueprint, and some rich people may not be living their blueprint. Now, I'll take you back to when I was an electrician. I was perceived as being rich perceived as being happy. I had fantastic cars. I had everything. I was out all the while. But I was really down. I was really down every single day because I wasn't living what I was meant to do. I wasn't doing the job I was meant to do. I wasn't living the life I was meant to be leading. I just wasn't. I wasn't doing what I was meant to do. And when I say blueprint,
Yeah.
it's that foundation there. Having that solid foundation, which is your blueprint.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm meant to do, and that's what I'm going to do it.
And for me, a blueprint is about that thing that sparks you, and it's so like when you do it, when you get a touch of it, oh my gosh, it's like it's a life force.
Yes, it's
and
infectious.
I know for artists, generally, it happens when they're doing what they love, as in their art. I know I find it when I get into the studio or I'm on stage. Suddenly, it's like everything else just melts, and it's like, oh, this is where I'm meant to be. And you know, I think that's the same for whether people are performing or whatever it is that their art form is. It's like, yeah, like you've got to find what that looks like. And we did, in fact, our very first workshop that we did, and if people want to check it out, it's on YouTube. We did a goal setting thing about like, how do you define what it is that you want, and finding that why you want to do it, because that drives on the dark days as well as, you know, that kind of
It's
stuff.
that why that's so important. I mean, to me, people talk about fear all the time. It's false evidence about reality.
I love that, yeah.
Massive. I love that saying. False evidence, but the fear of not doing it was worse than doing it.
Yeah,
And that's my why.
yeah.
The fear of getting to, like I've said earlier, 70, 80 years old on that bed. I want all my little, well, there won't be some little girls then.
I was going to say,
I want my
there'll be big
I want my
girls.
family around me, and
Yeah.
I want to say, I've done what I've done.
Yeah.
And again, it's a lot of people who I work with, exactly the same. Again, whether it be footballers, whether it be in business, whether it be artists, they're all the same answers. Doesn't matter from what walk of life you're at.
Yeah.
All the same, even college students with their exams.
Yeah.
I want to try my very best, and I don't want to fall short just because I was scared.
Yeah.
And it's again.
Fear plays such a huge part of this, and I have this conversation with people a lot, and I've read quite a few books on this as well, because I just think it fascinates me how, and what I'm going to say is a bit crazy, but for me, the biggest fear is mediocrity or mediocre. I can't say it. Can't even say the word. That's how bad it is. But it's like, if I live the comfortable general life, that for me is a bigger fear than failing. And failing is a big, huge fear that all artists, we all have that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know what it's like to flunk on stage, and you go, oh my gosh, I just fell over in my 9-inch heels or whatever. But
9-inch.
I'm joking. It's a bit too much. But you know that feeling. But that, to me, that fear of not doing it is bigger than the fear of doing it, if that makes sense.
Oh,
but
yeah,
but that's the
totally.
flip side, and not everybody. I suppose not everybody gets there. Some people do. I don't know. I don't know what's. I'm just kind of
Yeah, no, seriously.
through.
Again, with the fear, I mean, some people just overcome it so naturally. They really do. There are a lot of people who are very gifted at just overcoming it, just doing it.
Yeah.
But that fear of being mediocre.
Yeah.
And again, if there are a lot of people out there who's like, I'm all right with that. That's fine, because they're living their blueprint for
yeah,
life.
so it's about the blueprint.
It's about the blueprint. They're living their blueprint. But for me, and for a lot of people who I work with, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to be a bit crazy. People view you as being crazy.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever good enough. Oh, it is. Just, it's good enough for me, but it's not for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're thinking, oh, well, you'll always want something else.
Yeah.
People often say to, again, the people who work with and myself, you always want something else. It's not that I want something else. I just want to keep progressing, because mediocre, it's not for me.
Yeah.
It's just not for me.
But do you find that that's because you want growth? Like,
Yes.
I am a growth junkie. That sounds a bit crazy, but I want to grow. I want to reach the potential of who I am and who I feel I'm created to be. As an artist, as a musician, or even just as a human being, just like that I grow, and that, do you know what I mean? It's fulfilling that, what I feel I'm here for, if that makes sense.
It does. I mean, you owe it to the people who really do struggle. And this is what was in a belief with me. I always think there are a lot of people who would love to do what I do for a living. They would love my career, the progress of what I've done. And I owe it to them as well. Just do it. Just do it. I owe it to myself. I owe it to them. I just want to keep going and just keep. And again,
really
with your
fascinating,
artists, it's one of them that they'll do something. And I've heard this so many
Yeah.
times from different artists, footballers, actors, where they get to the point, and it's just that point of, I just done that. I did that myself.
Yeah.
And then it's, whoa,
Yeah.
euphoria. You're really there.
I love it.
you're there, and it's like the next one gets easier, and you will get your knockbacks. Every day is not plain sailing.
No.
Every, you can have a public speaking night, and you could just completely fall short. But it's all right, because that way I don't look at it as failure. There's no failure.
So how do you flip that for you? What do you
Straight
do?
away, there's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback.
Yeah.
I only ever had feedback. I never failed in anything.
Yeah.
Just had feedback.
Yeah. I love that, because I think as artists we open ourselves up for criticism a lot. We do. Like, if you hang your piece of art up there and it's like, it's part of you've put on that canvas or whatever it is that you've created. And ultimately we all want everyone to accolade it and go, oh, it's amazing. And it is, because you created something, regardless. But we do open ourselves up to that criticism, and dealing with that is, oh my gosh, it can be crushing. And I've had times where it sends you to the floor and you're like, I can't get up, I'm never doing this again. But then you go, if you can flip your mentality and kind of have that kind of, okay, that part didn't quite work for them. Is this, for me, this is what I do, and you can totally quote if I'm wrong, but I'll go, right, is that criticism going to be beneficial? Are they saying something that's going to help me to grow and change? Or are they just a bit of what I call like a bit of a negative forcing or negative energy, and they're actually just, I need to block them out. Like we said, not letting somebody put something in your coffee, so to speak.
Protect your mind.
Yeah. So, and I always have that two-way, but being open and humble about it, because sometimes actually people come in and you may think, oh, they're just being negative, but actually you need to hear something. There's something that you're doing right now on your pathway of life, so to speak, that you need to kind of make a bit of a change. And it could be that you need to change how you are. I remember, sorry, I'm totally gassing today, because this stuff fascinates me. I remember somebody saying to me, and I was singing, this when I first started out, I was like 12 or 13, and I was starting out, and I started recording, and I was doing bits and bobs, and someone said to me, your voice is just, you copy what everybody else is doing. And I remember taking that away, and I was in such a hump about that. I was like, how dare you, blah, 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 blah. I was ranting. And then about a week later, I went, actually, do you know what? I'm trying to imitate somebody else. I need to be myself. And I got what they were trying to say. They probably didn't say it in the best way, and I probably didn't receive it in the best way. But actually, in hindsight, I looked at it and went, oh, that was actually going to be really beneficial. And then I suddenly started to create my own style. It took years to do it, but I did it because I listened to people's feedback around me as well. But yeah, sorry. That was my little story of digression.
No, it's fine.
Sorry, Brett.
That you carry on.
I get too excited.
But again, it is that, I mean, in neurolinguistics, NLP, one of the things we talk about is modelling. Mm-hmm. Now, modelling's an interesting one for me, because when I first started out in NLP and therapy psychology, I was told, and business, model someone. Yeah. And what I mean about like modelling, for argument's sake, for your artists out there, Kylie Minogue. Yeah. People will model Kylie Minogue. I want to be the next Kylie Minogue, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But Kylie Minogue is now, she's bringing her A game. Yeah. And she's even better now than she was years and years ago. Yeah. Copying Kylie now is a bit of a task. Yeah. They've put Kylie on a pedestal, and it's hard to emulate that right now. Yeah. I'm not saying ever. I'm saying right this minute. It's hard. She's Kylie Minogue. Yeah. Now, Kylie didn't just happen like that for Kylie. It didn't just happen at all. And she took years and years and years and years and years and years. Now, Kylie didn't go to someone else up there and model them. What Kylie actually did was model someone just there. Yeah. Kylie was there, just there. Yeah. Then when Kylie got brought up to that, they did this. Yeah. Because Kylie's rituals now, and when I say rituals, everything she does every day, the vocal coaching she has, because she still has it. Yeah. Some of the psychological coaching she has, some of the business coaching, because she's got businesses, all these different things. Mm-hmm. Kylie didn't do that from the off. Yeah. She had to work up to that. Yeah. It's one of the most important things, what I've learned for a lot of people. And again, I talk about this myself as well. Mm-hmm. From the early days, I thought, that's what I want to do. I want to be a multimillionaire. I want to help people. I want to do this. And I saw people like Tony Robbins. And,
he's a huge life coach, if anybody wants to check him out.
Tony Robbins is an amazing guy. Yeah. And Les Browns of the world, again, life coach, executive coach, public speaker. That's what I want to be. But Tony Robbins and Les Brown's rituals was not what I needed to follow. Yeah. I needed somebody just here. Yeah. I just found somebody that I could just model them. Yeah. And just model them, model them, model them. Yeah. I mean, one of the best things I ever heard when I was I think I was in the street one of the days, and there was this guy, absolutely amazing guy, doing all these flips with these tin cans. Oh, amazing, doing all
awesome.
these flips, absolutely fantastic, for about 3 minutes solidly, flipping over, landing on the thing, on the floor, put his legs on the bins, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Then this guy walks over, he's like, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Puts his, and then he finishes with the tin lids like that, and everybody's getting money out of the pocket, getting £10, £20. This guy walks over, got a bit of a bottle in his hand, walks over, says, not bad for a couple of minutes work, is it? Couple of minutes work.
Oh my gosh.
Fool. Them are rituals I'm talking about. It took him years to get conditioned, and again with your artists,
Yeah.
it's years of conditioning. And I don't
So
say that to scare people,
No.
because we all know that's what happens. But it's these little rituals. You get up in the morning, you go to the gym,
Yeah.
you work on yourself, protect your mind.
Yeah, I love this because it's about that discipline, isn't it? To kind of little steps every day to kind of get there, because you're not going to just get there overnight, and it's not just going to come to you. And I remember having this conversation with quite a few artists of like, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I'm like, that's cool, that's all good, and I am all for everybody going for their A game. I'm like, go for it. But it won't come towards you. You've got to go towards it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of artists, not everybody, I'm not saying this about everyone, so don't get mad at me, but a lot of artists do just think, right, I'm a singer, that's it, I'm a singer. I'm just waiting to get signed. And they wait. And I'm like, that's all good. I'm glad you're a singer and I'm glad that you're waiting to get signed, but you've got to step towards the goal. And I'm guilty of this. I went through this kind of denial phase of like, right, I trained in it, I'd gone to uni, I was like, right, came out of uni, I'm a singer, that's it. I mean, thankfully, I've talked about my story, like I got signed pretty quickly, but at the same point, I did just kind of think, oh, it'll just come to me, and nothing happened, and it'll just come to me. But I had to work at it, I had to make those contacts, and you have to do it, but it's overcoming those beliefs to kind of each step. And I feel that each step you take, every time you're scared and you take a step, it's like a little mini sort of win, if you know what I mean, mentally. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that confidence starts to build at every step. That's, for me, how it works. Do you find that the same?
Oh, definitely. Again, go back to people I work with, say exactly the same. It's, this, chunking, what's called chunking. Get that over with.
Yeah.
Look back. Okay, what have I learned from that?
Yeah.
Great, let's move on. Next one, win one. And you can have a little book.
Yeah, I love it.
Have a little
That's
book.
actually a really good idea,
is.
because I think sometimes we just go through life and we don't think about what we've achieved in the past year. I'm the worst case for this, my friends say to me all the time.
A lot of people do. And some of the lessons that you learn, I mean, we talk about beliefs.
Yeah.
One of the best things to get over beliefs is write it down.
Yeah.
With the belief, for argument's sake, I'm not good enough. One of them is, even now with celebrities.
I know you can't talk
not-
about some
I
of the guys
can't,
that
I'm
you...
trying to-
I know, I can see.
I nearly
trying to
mentioned
hold
one
back.
then.
Yeah, I saw you. I was like, don't say it. Yeah, he's not allowed to say some names, so that's fine, and we totally respect that, and that's cool. So you have these conversations with people who are living their dream, so to speak, and they're still struggling. So yeah, you were saying, go ahead.
They're top of the game, and one of the best things we do, the techniques with them. One of the best, and again, I say it for myself as well. I write it down.
Right.
I'm not good enough, because if it's a belief within yourself or an artist, I'm not good enough, which is quite a lot.
It's a huge one.
Oh, massive. I'm not good enough. So I'll get people to write that down and analyse that and become their own therapist.
Right.